Hey, everybody. Welcome to ICC's Banter Blitz. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. This is our little monthly get together for Blitz Chess for the month of May. Hope you guys missed me terribly while I was gone. And should be fun as always. Although I actually played some Blitz Chess over the weekend. I don't know if it means that I'll be more ready to go than usual, but I played in a Grandmaster Blitz tournament at a charity event, and so I got kind of warmed up there. So let's see if it makes any difference. All right, we're getting started right away. Virtuoso is the first up at bat, and those of you who frequent the show know that I tend to have a theme for my openings to try to, make things a little interesting. And so I think the theme will become quickly apparent. So Virtuoso wants something with E5. Now, I could just go G5 and I could just go G5 and grab the bishop. I'm not a huge fan of this strategy because I don't know, I compromise the king side, but the bishop pair. So it actually kind of resembles some kind of Tory attack. Now he's thinking about this. He's not going to sacrifice. That's not going to be a good idea because if my king were on G8, no, I don't believe it. If my king were on G8, I maybe, but the thing is, the pawns are strong in the end game, but we're still in the opening. So I'd be very surprised if they're going to become any kind of major factor. But of course, there's a reason why you play the game, so we'll see. Now it's possible that this is not really such an accurate move, but certainly if I could trade the bishops and start to use those dark squares. It's very hard to cover all the squares when there's so many pieces. Yeah. So maybe I'll play this to open up the F4 square. Of course, if I take the bishop, there's a pin. So bishop b5, okay. He's all about the pins. All right, I'll just go bishop d7. I don't know if I should take on d4, give his knight a square, so just go back. So I'm not sure that he helped himself. Oh, I guess he took away the square from my knight. Yeah, okay. He's attacking my knight, sort of. Well, I could just I could just take on g5. And I don't know if c6 is such a good move, exposing my center, but I want to try to get some counterplay going. Yeah, and my thinking was that now I can put this knight on a6. Yeah, admit this isn't. Yeah, maybe the knight h5 was really unnecessary. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, or maybe I should just followed up with knight f4 directly. Okay, we'll have to pick up the pace here. First game up. All right, I'm going to play. No, I should have played that last move if I was going to play it. Okay. All right, I'll just give another pawn for the dark squares. Although I could take the pawn back on h. But I could if he takes the knight, I could take the pawn back on h4, but then my d6 pawn is loose, so I kind of messed up a little bit there. All right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not going to take any pawns. I think that maybe I should risk it, because now we're getting into an area where those pawns are starting to become relevant. But I'm just trying to play fast now, because I've used up an awful lot of time. Yeah, wow. That first game, sometimes I'm dreaming a little bit too much. Oh, greedy, greedy. Maybe I'm getting some good counterplay here. So what am I going to do? Oh, I did not see that. What's up with that? I did not get that. Okay, I'll just go back. Well, the guy likes pawns. Okay, I like pawns too. I like pawns too. Seems a bit much. Ooh, ooh! I forgot about that move. I got complacent there. Okay, so now I've given up my extra material, and now I'm losing, sort of. Yeah. That was very poor. Need more coffee. Now what do I do? What do I do? Okay. Not trade queens. Okay. Not lose my queen. Because it's hard to make Luft in this position, which is really annoying, but also not that easy for him to bait me, which of course I'm sure he wants to do that. Oh, okay. How about that move? Is that good? I don't know. Got my trusty knight to protect the back rank, and now I'm getting somewhere. Oh, and also he started using a bull his time. Wow. Okay, that's a nice turnaround. Check. Oh, that's probably wasn't the best. All right. Because he's almost out of time, but of course he ran out of time. You're welcome, Virtuoso, but whew. I looked up and I was way behind on the time, and I'd suddenly given away all my my stuff. Well, that was a spirited game anyway. Sometimes that challenge is tough out of the box. I guess I was not warmed up from from the chess I played over the weekend. Still just getting up early in the morning, and yeah, the days start pretty early here. My wife gets up very early for work now because she has a longer commute than she had before. So I have to get up before 7. I've never really been a morning person, and I don't go to. Syra, what's going on here? Why aren't you moving? Are you playing another game or something? You got to be ready to answer the call. Don't answer the call, it might not come back to you. You never know. There could be a huge queue. Maybe everybody wants to play. Ah, Surprising. All right. So that's the theme. I know that I could get a playable position. It's less controversial than my D3 and Queen D2 theme. That was really asking for it, I admit. All right, C4 just because I can. I don't know. Knight E7. All right. And all right, let's just develop. See where he's going. H6. Trying to cover a lot of squares. All right. Maybe I'll go grab this bishop. Ah, well, he doesn't allow knight b5. This is true. Just get pieces out. But I have more time than I started with, which is good. And he does not, which is good. Okay, now I actually will take it, which gives him stronger center, but I'm hoping that will be annoying. Yeah, that's what I wanted him to do. Although I'm not really sure why I thought that was so great, because I guess I thought I was going to go here, but now I realize it just kind of looked cool because of the king on h8, but rook e8 is perfectly fine answer. All right, let's try something interesting here. I'm going to offer a pawn to try to create some play with my dark square bishop. I guess he doesn't have to take it, but if he doesn't take it, the knight is going to be pretty good in there. Yeah. I don't know. I think that was a little bit of a bluff on my part. Although I wouldn't have minded that position, I think he shouldn't just live with this knight in e5 some way. It's now starting to put some pressure on, I think. Rook g8, okay. Got some mo. Maybe I'll try starting something up on the other side. You could have also played f3, which maybe was stronger, but prefer not to really spend a lot of time thinking about it in the Blitz game. And knight g. No, I think just direct f5, because if he takes, yeah, now this pawn actually is very, very dangerous. I think it's coming right through because it's supported by both bishops, and his queen is trapped. Ay, ay, ay. His queen is actually trapped by that pawn and the bishops. Not to mention that, you know, if he gives the queen up for something other than the pawn, he's going to have to give up more material for the pawn. So, okay. Well, under the circumstances, that made the most sense. But I think I will take this and make a queen, and then I will take this, and then I will take this. I must be coming out ahead, right? Queen against queen, and a minor piece against the rook. Yeah. It's all according to plan. Thanks, Sarah. I'm never quite sure how to say that, but I think he plays fairly frequently in the Banter Blitz. We have our regulars, and we have new people from month to month. I think this is one of them, Gegia. That does not look like a familiar handle. And there's my thing. I'm actually somewhat more confident about this thing than other things because Because, you know, once I play those two moves, then I can just do normal stuff. I'm not committed to any kind of setup, right? Putting the question to the bishop. Yeah, now I'm wondering, is this one of those knight takes e5 moments? I don't know if it's going to be such a good move, but it's like, you know, takes, 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 takes. It seems that material comes out even, so maybe not bother with that. What else? D4. It looks like you can play E4. I could have tried that without H3 and then D5. Slightly mourning that I didn't do that. But all right, let's go get the bishop. I was thinking about knight E5, bishop E2, knight C6, and all that kind of usual tactics, but the bishop starts taking everything. He gets the C2 and D3 pawns are hanging, so I think it would come out equal. Now he has an opportunity for knight discovery, but I don't think there's anything that really works. But if I'd done this, I'd actually maybe even prefer my bishop on F1 and it could go to G2. So that wasn't exactly well timed. There might be a possibility of F4. Yeah. You know, F4 to go get the bishop. It's very very bold, certainly. You know, and he's going to have tactics, so it's probably not the thing to do. So I will wait. I think if that knight goes anywhere, I still have knight G6. And my rook on H1 is protected as well, in case I need that. And if he pushes in the center, I could have G5. So yeah, in fact, G5 could, well, G5, not could, G5 I think is happening now. He talked me into it. Go take the D5 pawn. Let's see, he's got some tricks up his sleeves. Maybe he'll get G5. But it should be a good trade for me. Grab a center pawn for a winger. Don't think he can avoid that. Right, okay. I think I will just play sort of routine here. Just grab that, and then grab his bishop, and then bring my queen out probably. Take. Got to take with the H pawn, yeah. Take with the F pawn is usually anti-positional, but definitely when the bishop is controlling its way to G8. Yeah, so now he castles, but of course now the open H file could work against him. So seriously thinking about H4. Of course, I could take on C6. That's just so, I don't know. Just seems not right. But H4, can I actually crack that? Yeah, you know, it's very boring, but the thing is, if I don't take this, I think he's going to be okay. So I'm actually just going to take that pawn and gradually mobilize my queen side. Also, maybe get a sneak attack on the king side and somewhere along the line. Let's get that into the game. castle. I could have played b3, but I didn't want to waste another tempo to put it on the long diagonal. All right, he wants to go e4, but I think if I castle, that will take the sting out of it with rook on the d file. Maybe rook e6, and then I have queen g2. I think is maybe a nice tempo. Go from here. That's another question. These moves were easy enough. Let's just go there. Of course, it's a blitz game, so to pick up the pace, so maybe just makes a lot of solid moves for a while. But h4 is nice because if his knight ever moves away, then I flick in h5, and if he doesn't want things opened up, then he has to bury his bishop. The threat is stronger than the execution sometimes. So if it's my move, I would just make a lot of solid moves on the queen side, consolidating like that one. Keep the pressure on. I'll try to, play from the Maxime Delugi Blitz playbook. As he now has a column in New in Chess magazine on Blitz Chess. All right, let's see. When you start maneuvering pieces to fresh squares, that can be very disconcerting to someone in time pressure. That's the theory. Yeah, ran out of time. It worked like a charm. All right, thanks, Gegia. That was an interesting game, although really kind of a little bit unfinished there at the end. But I think I have a good position. All right, now somebody with a lot of vowels, Micah, 2 A's there, Maike. Okay. Looks like a French, but no, it's a what? Does this have a name? I don't know. Of course, I don't necessarily have a plan after this. Whoa, okay. He wants to smother me. I don't blame him for trying to refute my my cutesy moves. So now we have a kind of Benoni. Knight d7. Yeah, it doesn't really fit in that well with the Benoni pattern. But I don't know. We'll try to throw off his scheme a little bit. Queen a4. Wow, I was not expecting that for the pin. Okay. Now I'm not threatening b5 yet, but soon. Soon, and for the rest of my life. b5, something takes. No. So I'll just play rook b8. Now, problem with the queen going a4 is he can't stop b5 with a4, which is very typical in this opening. So I'm going to get that in. Knight h3. I'm not buying that. What does he want to go to f2 and defend his pawn? I think that in a situation like this, what you got to do is you got to just go all in and I don't know, get e5 in, a sack a pawn, and try to use development, because that's what he does have in this position. But knight on h3, I think, is getting exploited. Well, actually, he can go to f2. I guess it's not going to get exploited. Oh, well, now it is going to get exploited. Yeah, I'm going to chop it. And yeah, he should have played knight f2 for sure. Kind of the idea of knight h3, I thought. And now he's thinking about not to. Okay, I have b4 and I have knight d3. A lot of things shaking loose. Knight, that's a nice check, but I think I should try to shake things loose here in the center. So yeah, okay, so that protects d5 at least. So what do I have? I have check. But then what after that? Yeah, it's not actually. This one maybe sets up a check on h4 because he got his king side messed up there. That was, yeah, that he could have done without. Yeah, I think queen h4 coming is strong. If he takes, okay, so he got out of the way. That was smart, actually, very smart on his part, because now my king is in the center, and you know, actually suddenly it doesn't look that impressive. Maybe I should have checked him. All right. Well, I think it behooves me to develop some pieces, so I'm not going to mess around here and worry about holding on to that extra pawn. Bishop g2. What's that? I'm just going to get castled. Yeah, okay, just getting castled. And now play from there. Takes it. Okay, I'm happy to see that. No two bishops, and also no bishop defending his king. That's, oh, is that why? Just to take a pawn. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. But okay, let's see. See how can I refute this. I think he took a pawn, but it's kind of hard to move any pieces now. Right. So, okay, yeah. Well, if he's come to the second rank, it should be good to jump in there. And now, well, now already winning threats. Knight c5 is a huge one. Rook e1 knight c5 almost traps the queen. Okay, I missed that. That's a good move because that prevents knight c5. So, all right, let's just defend that. And now we have to look for a different square to go for the knight. There aren't any squares that are nearly as attractive, but what are you going to do? Rook f3. Don't have knight c5. Knight f2 I don't have. Knight d2. Knight g3. Knight g5. I'll just play knight g. I probably should just play. No, I'll just play knight g. Oh, he has rook e3. Oopsies. All right, you know what? I'll go f5. I'll just leave my knight there. I say, okay, what are you going to do? I'll just slow play it. Could take the pawn at b2 as well. Yeah, maybe that's the best thing. All right. Okay, I think I will actually take the pawn on b2 now, even though I like that the bishop can't develop because I want to get that second rook to the second rank if I can. So that's my big idea. Bump that one in. And he's got a temporary pin on my knight, but I don't know if that's... Yeah, maybe I should have attacked his rook first, but okay. I'll do that now. This is another game coming down on time, so I want to keep it moving. Take this pawn. Rook a3 is threatened, sneaky threat. It's very hard when you're pinned up like that. Not much to do. Okay, makes sense relatively. And I'm just going to kind of play a move just to defend things. Defend against this queen, so no perpetuals or anything. Actually, the queen in the second rank was probably defending anyway. Okay, so he resigned. So, yeah, so he came at me fast with those pawns, but didn't back him up. I think, when you play those 4 pawns like that, very often you just have to develop very, very quickly and, sack a pawn with e5 if necessary. Okay. All right. This, I guess, is going to be more of a challenge. Rivertail, who's listed as an IM. I don't believe I've ever seen him in these parts before, but we'll see what he comes up with. I mean, we don't get all that many masters and international masters playing. Occasionally, we do. There's no rule against it. It's your prerogative. It's certainly a step up for me when I have to deal with those players. The average player is, I don't know, probably like 1,600, guessing. All right, so this, I don't know, this sort of looks like it's almost a normal position. Oh, my a6 pawn is hanging. No, I shouldn't take it for sure, I think. Yeah, and he doesn't. But I don't think that I have too bad a position here, actually. If he takes the pawn, now my bishop is secure there. And now stuff is happening here. Check. Okay, I'm going to play this very straightforward. Just bishop b4 check. I have bishop f3, but if he takes with the queen, my rook is hanging there. So I think I'm just going to take it and see how does he recapture, because queen takes, drops something. Yeah, I think everything else drops something, but I'm pretty happy to see his king in the middle like that. I mean, you never know. My first moves were d6 and e6. Now it looks like just a pretty normal, happy position for me. All right. Interesting. Knight. Yeah, I'm looking at tactics here. I don't really see any. Well, this is a little bit of a tactic, but I mean nothing outrageous. I felt that was slightly more accurate than taking a knight c5. Perhaps I should have chopped his knight when I had the chance. I don't know. Yeah, because I guess he's gonna. I guess he's just gonna move out with his king. I don't see how to stop that. I just have to live with it, I guess. So I'll just put that in the center. Yeah, I was hoping to get more out of this. Let's make sure that I'm not dropping a pawn. He doesn't want to drop a pawn. I make luft. That's a very nice luft to get in with all the rooks flying around. Also I have knight g5 if I need to do something there. And now what? Rook c4 maybe. I like the idea of this, and then try it, if he takes it, to try to use the b file. Another game where I have to pick up the pace a little bit. Oh, I believe there's no increment in this game, Rivertail. I'm very, very upset when I see stuff like that, because it's a banter game and I play slow, and I count on that increment. And when I lose this game, the heads are going to roll. We count on people to play the proper way, because I feel pretty confident I would win this game with increment. And now I just hung something, right? Okay, well, I'm about to lose on time anyway. Yep. Not a happy camper. Well, he doesn't have much time either, so who knows? Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to throw Sandro under the bus for that. That's okay. It's okay, my man. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it until the end when I saw that my time was not going back up after I made a move. Virtuoso back for another shot. Yeah, because that was a game. I felt pretty confident I was going to win that with the 2 second increment. But I see when I'm down 20 seconds to 50 seconds in a middle game, I'm not happy. What I like about the E3 D3 is it's completely flexible. So like every game, I can do something completely different, just for fun. Night takes. No, no such luck. Okay. Does this do anything? 94. Probably not. Maybe get him to think for a moment. Maybe double pawns. Okay. Well, sometimes people give up the bishop pair to get that. I guess it's something. No, that was kind of clever, actually. Um, I really don't want to double those pawns. So guess I'll go e4. Though potentially he may undouble those pawns anyway. Excuse me. So, Virtuoso. Now I'm trying to think what the first game was. I think I was black in that one. But certainly this one is competitive. Sometimes I get the better positions with black because people really try to pound me and can backfire. All right, so I've got D4 pretty well covered. I think B4 is coming if he doesn't stop it, and it doesn't look like he stopped it. So probably he should play A5. Typical kind of Maroxy bind 101. Maroxy. It's back to E5. All right. But why can't I? Well, I can take it. He will. Well, I don't know. I take. Maybe I'm. Yeah, maybe I throw in a capture on C5 to be hyper accurate here. He's got to take back. Yeah, it takes. Well, then he has queen takes though. No, so. Well then it's not that good. But F4. I like that better. I like that better. Much better. He maybe went to the well once too often with a 95. So now, if I take, bishop is loose, so this should be good. All right. But I think I'll just take back. I don't necessarily mind having the queens on. With the queens off, he has a little bit of play with his rooks. Queens on, some hope of exploiting his open king a little bit. A5, okay. Took us. So he's got a pass runner. I was hoping to play bishop b5 and centralize my queen, but I see something I like, I think. Let me take and then toss this rook in to f6. Self-pinning, but creating some potential threats there. My queen coming to e5, I can double rooks, I can do many things. Yeah, rook c2 is a possibility there. I was prepared to deal with that. All right, let's just defend that. I don't necessarily need to bring the other rook over. Now I'm thinking about that other open diagonal, a2 g8 diagonal. So I'm just sort of securing this. And if bishop e6, it might get taken. Also d5 is there. So he had rook c2 when I played rook f6. That was probably the best try. Virtuoso. Oh, now I remember the game Virtuoso. He ran out of time when he had he did all the sacrificing. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. Okay. All right. What's the all right, check. You know what? I'm just gonna grab this pawn on a5. So now I have 2 extra pawns. Let him think about something to do. Fine. I'll just consolidate the position. All right. We can trade. I'm a merchant. And he runs out of time. Virtuoso. And he says thank you. I say you're welcome. All right. So anyway, I've got a book coming out in should be out in October from New in Chess, and it's a strategy book. I was working on it for a long time without exactly knowing what to call it, but I believe the title is going to be "Better Thinking, Better Chess: How a Grandmaster Finds His Moves," which is a title I really like in the end because. I think that's about what I was going for, kind of how people can sort of adjust their thinking to be a little bit more logical and efficient, so that people can at every level can play the moves that they're capable of finding. That's part of the thesis, is that a lot of I feel that a lot of players make mistakes that they're capable of avoiding, is that maybe they decide on something too fast, or they don't look for a second move and that kind of thing. And so I think it's going to be a really good book. Pretty proud of it. It's got a lot of my games. It's based on The material is based on mostly my games, but also a lot of games of my students, and you see sort of typical errors that you see really at every level, and so on. So sometimes even by me. All right. While I was babbling away about that, I started a game with Ears, my good friend from the Great Northwest. Well, no, he's actually in the East, but he's in Canada, and he's one of the regulars. It's always, although I think last time I played him, he was in Florida somehow. So it's good. It's good to get around, and we often have these sort of maneuvering games because I always play these. Well, the first couple of moves sort of come and get me, and he likes to respond by out-weirding me if possible. But sometimes it comes at a cost. All right, let's see. I take this. How are you taking it back? There's a hole on B3, and I can even take that and go knight B3. But I don't really want to. I'm going to go here because I don't want to give up that bishop, Then it's a blitz game where you're playing the whole game without your fianchettoed bishop and his queen's on the board. I can do it, and I might be able to block the diagonal with D5. Excuse me. Knight C6. I missed that, but why should that be good? He wants to follow up with E5. All right, knock yourself out. I don't think he can sustain that in there. E5. Well, I'll probably start by taking on D3. Actually, that's happening. That's happening no matter what. I'll just go ahead and start with that, see where he goes with his queen, and then depending on that, I have bishop E4. Actually, I don't need to take the rook, and I think that's going to be a crunching move. This is good. I could I could babble away about my book in this game, and didn't have to. Was able to make a lot of quick moves without really looking at the position. That worked out well. The good news on the book front continues because I expect that there's going to be a second edition of liquidation on the chessboard. Oops. All right. Ear saw he was losing a piece, and he resigned right as I was reaching to take the bishop. Suddenly, the bishop disappeared because all the challenges came up there in its place. Ear says, ouch. Okay. Thank you for the game. Always a pleasure. Okay. Bukowski. I think that's a new opponent for me. So anyway, the second edition of Liquidation on the chessboard will have at least 50 new examples. I was very proud of the first book, so I think this one's going to be real good too. All right, take my knight, please. So Bukowski playing very simple, logical moves to start, and has a perfectly good position, as one probably should have. A3, I don't know, given that I'm playing this so slowly, the doubled pawns, probably good for black to give those doubled pawns. But then you have to kind of play the pawn structure correctly. If I should get in C4 successfully liquidating the pawns, I'll be happy. All right. I think H3 is a useful move. I don't think he should provoke it. But maybe he wants to pin. If he keeps the pin, maybe this will be another game where I go after the bishop. Get two bishops for two knights. Okay, so he moves away. And I'm going to tickle the b7 pawn. Start some maneuvers. I was pretty sure I was going to get queen d7 there. All right, let's I guess do a little waiting. Maybe f4 is the plan. Yeah, f4 might be planned because he's got his pieces lined up in fork position. And I'll have some ideas of busting forward c4, although I guess he doesn't necessarily have to let that diagonal stay open. Not a bad idea to close that diagonal if you can. But I think c4 is coming. Possible to take with a g pawn to roll b4, but it's very looks very rickety. Yeah. Yeah. It would have been good to get that move in before all that happened. Where to go from here? Well, I'll start with that because certainly my bishop isn't doing anything on the diagonal, and maybe I'll grab the b7 pawn if he doesn't protect it, which of course he can. Now, do I want to play knight e4? Double-edged move, because then c4 is kind of a goner if I take with a pawn. Could take with the bishop. Yeah, I think I would trade that because the knight in f6 I think is a lot of potential. But I think I'll just take out with the bishop. And then that bishop is kind of well placed. Of course, he doesn't have to take, I guess, but of course that's what you have to consider. Like how you're going to recapture and you're going to change the structure or whatever. Actually has a very sensible alternative I see now in bishop c6, which I guess could have considered that one too. Then maybe f5. All right, well he went and did that. f5 is interesting here. I see some issues with it though. I'm going to play it anyway, but I do have issues with this move. I do have issues. Yeah, bishop e4 was the biggest issue for me. Although maybe that move's fine too. Yeah, actually there's nothing wrong with that. All right, well, it's a time game. Let's keep it moving. I see some maybe that was just making it worse. Yeah, f5. Yeah, he should play bishop takes e4. But sometimes when you play aggressive moves against a low-rated player, the response is they back off. But really, there was an opportunity for him to meet me head on with bishop takes e4. That knight is very strong on e4, but the bishop is not so strong on e4 with the pawn in f5. The bishop is just blocked, and I think Bukowski actually had a chance for an advantage there, but instead he drops a piece, and it's not going to have a happy ending now. But it was a good game, up until the last couple of moves. He had a good position, so well played. One to build on there. Not for me. How we doing? My giant cup of coffee's almost gone. All right, Micah, back for round two. Good thing about this system is that I can basically pre-move. There's nothing that can really stop me from playing D3. All right, let's try something new, I think. Fianchetto. So I mentioned that I played in this Blitz Grandmaster Blitz tournament. It was for the charity chess event, but what is certainly worth mentioning is that the special guest star of this event was Fabiano Caruana, who of course is traveling all over the world with all of these great successes in chess now, and it was great to get him to stop by in his hometown, and he signed autographs for everybody, and played a charity tandem blitz match where he and Robert Hess played with a junior teammate, a little mini match. And it was good seeing Fabiano. I think it was the first time in 10 years. Because he didn't look all that different to me, because it's like I've been seeing him on TV all this time, so I know like every magazine cover, so I know exactly what he looks like. But I don't know if he even recognized me, because it's been oh no, I didn't want to play A5. That pawn does not want to go to A5. Now light square is very, very weak, Micah. That you did not want that. But anyway, my son was all excited about getting an autograph from Fabi, which is pretty cool. I like to see him get excited about chess celebrities, and he actually got signatures from all the grandmasters at the event. Knight B4. Yeah, so how do I actually kind of crack this, I guess? To actually make any progress, I might have to play F4 and liquidate his weakness. Otherwise, I could just play with my pretty pieces, but how do I actually attack something if I don't play F4? All right. Sometimes it's good to make waiting moves and see where your opponent is going. But I think I'm going to play F4, because what else to do? All right, here we go. So, I mean, there's no law that says you can't intentionally undouble your opponent's pawns. We see that type of strategy coming out of a lot of openings, like the Rosslimo, for instance. It's just sometimes a very normal thing to do, because if you want to generate some play. That's slightly careless, because it's E5 now, but I guess let's go for it. I could certainly build in this position, but I want to see what's gonna see. He did not anticipate that, but there is Knight D5, and then I want this, and then let's see. I'm not sure how much that does. That was a pretty good answer, I guess, I have to admit. Although the knights are tethered together, I like that, but he does kind of threaten e-takes. So I'm not sure about this move, but I'm going to... Oh, of course, if I don't move my queen, then he does have knight c2. Okay, so think of a good idea here. That was a good answer, wasn't it? All right. Well, let's do something a little controversial. I'm going to let him take that C2 pawn. Just let him have it. Micah. Okay. Micah informs me I'm not a he. I don't know if this is a last name or first name. If it's a common female first name, then I would really feel bad about that. But of course, I have no way of knowing, so I'll use the proper pronoun. This is something that goes around the coaching circles now because it's very in fashion to use the pronoun they in the singular. Like when I see my colleagues going over games, they say, "Okay, what did they do now?" And I will not do that. I will not use that in the singular, but it's because everything with gender, of course, is changing now. All right. Well, this game is really going down to the wire here. Mike is playing a very good game. G6. Okay, let's. Ooh. Bishop G3. Is that something? All right. Maybe I'll try to deal with that. I have a plan on that now. My plan is F7. Well, that's my plan anyway. F7. King H1, Bishop G3. Oh, she's finding all these moves. Very annoying. 22. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, all right. Just got to move. Knight D8. Well, that's a really good move. Queen G3. All right. Take. Got to move fast. Got to move fast. I think Bishop G3 was stronger. Not he. So she's playing a good game. Well, I think the bishop has trouble finding a square here. Yeah, because now I have this. Oh, I almost didn't get there. No, that I didn't do that. That like pre-moved. No. Is it because I couldn't reach my mouse? That's really annoying. Did that move? Why isn't she moving? No, you can. Yeah, you can go ahead and move. All right. That happens. I was going to take the bishop, and I played rook G7. And then it just, yeah. Yeah, but I have to say that she played a very good game and maybe deserves something. Ooh. Now we have a new ball game here because now I'm only down an exchange. But she still can play, can have time with the increment. That was annoying, unintentional pre-move. But still, it's somehow it's coming out to a really interesting game. No draw. Okay, you got me. But that was really unfortunate. What happened there was I played Rook G7 and it was having trouble reaching it because my mouse was not stretched out, and it put the Rook on G7. But then when she moved, it put the Rook back to G6. So that was unfortunate for me. But okay, Micah played a very very tough game. So maybe that's all right. So I'm losing games in very strange ways today. Okay, so here is Manus. Manus is up now. I suppose it's possible to ask for a take back. I don't know the etiquette on those things, but I don't like to do that. So. All right, what's happening here? Suddenly, the game ground to a halt after 3 moves. Well, it looks like we have some lag here. That's pretty bad. Oh, he disconnected. That will put a damper on a game when you disconnect. Ah, and we're back. But still no move. Oh, there we go. All right. I guess there's some sort of logic in going for a queenside fianchetto after those opening moves. I can't pre-move bishop b7. He might attack my knight or check me. Well, he's not just lagging on the technology. He's lagging in terms of putting moves on the board. Okay. Bishop b5 check is an interesting question. Don't really want to play c6, but maybe I would do it for the tempo because knight d7, bishop c6 looks very awkward. Bishop d7, then the bishop moves away, and what did I play b6 for? Also, the bishop isn't good on d7. But he's just not moving, so that seems to be something wrong. So, let's see. It's a beautiful day outside while I'm cooped up in here. But we've had lots of rain, lots and lots of rain the last couple of weeks. First we had very cold weather, and then he disconnected again. And he goes back to 251. Yeah. This is not very exciting. So my son has baseball practice tonight. It's going to be brilliant sunshine, and hopefully they won't be rained out because the field. Hopefully the beautiful sun will dry up the fields really quickly because the area has taken so much rain over the last few days, last weeks, days and weeks. All right. Well, Manas, there are other people in line. What are you going to do? Yeah, I think it's best to move on. Dorito, who's got a picture of a nice doggy. So, I guess E6, maybe E6 is more logical. But even after E4, E6, bishop B5 prevents D6, so I can't truly pre-move. Chico say the pin she win. All right. Go with this B6 idea. Bishop B5 check. He was listening to me, but okay. Well, maybe now I'll just play C6 and B5. Put the question to the bishop. See where he goes. He takes it. Well, that's expedient, but unless he's got a follow-up, I'm very happy to get that bishop pair. Rook E1. All right. Seems useful to get that queen to C7. Stop E5 and kind of guard things. Queen D2, all right. I like getting this move in. So now I can advance in the center with anything. Right, now he's done that. Now I'll bottle up those rooks with E5. And I think I'll just keep, I could open, but I think I'll keep things closed here and get space advantage on the queen side. And also the king side, I don't think he's going to be doing any breaking because of the dark squared bishop. The dark squared bishop is so often a tremendously important piece in a lot of openings. Sometimes it's the other one, but it's always good to keep in mind, how the bishops relate to the pawn structure. I think that's something that the stronger players are very aware of, that the bishops are not created equal. Like here, he's got quite a bad bishop, which is not doing much. I had a little mouse problem there as well. And even my technically bad bishop, the bishop on F6, looks pretty good here because, I have a lot more territory to go for with with his dark square bishop out. Okay, so what to do? All right, maybe we'll just drop it back and maybe play for F5. I was thinking a little bit about, should I play H5? Because he might try to provoke that with H4. Oh, that was a move I didn't really consider, but no, he didn't defend it. I think he just forgot about en passant. I mean, that happens. That's why it wasn't on my radar, because of the en passant rule. But yeah, he's not defended there. Well, actually, he could maybe he could do this. Strangely enough. Knight takes B3, knight takes B5 looks playable. Again, I don't think it was planned, but sometimes these things tend to work out somehow. Now, my idea is I want to jump into d4. That's why I had to get my queen out of that bad position. Yeah, now jump in here. And he cannot take me, at least for this move. So probably now I try to build around that knight. Sometimes the threat is strong in the execution. I don't think the knight on c5 was necessarily doing that much, that he needed to try to drive it away. I think, maybe b4 created more problems. King g2. Well, that doesn't really defend the knight, does it? I mean, I like the knight on d4, but did he just resigned? Oh, okay. I was going to win an exchange. I think you should play on down an exchange, guys. I've said this before. You lose a little material. It's okay. I'm not offended if you keep playing, because that's what you kind of here to get the experience and to learn and all that. All right, so 11 is trying to out-weird me here. So, okay. All right, so I go with Fiancato. Yeah, there's that again. I keep running into that move. I should maybe wait to my opponents move their bishop before I start playing b6. Okay. I'll try to build up some center here. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. Yeah, don't resign. I mean, if you queen down, don't play on. I mean, that is a waste of time. But you're down a little bit of material. Get the experience of seeing how Grandmaster converts a position. It's okay. Believe me, I'm not offended if anybody plays on down a little bit of material. Even if you play on tomato, I won't be offended. No, it's not a big deal. But get as much as you can out of these games. You pay your money, you take your choice. Well, you don't really pay any money for these games, but in general, it'd be on the ICC. So anyway, 11 is playing a pretty decent game here, I think. Queen e2. Okay, this I like now, putting my rook opposite the queen. I always like that. Now, he's loading up pretty good with the pieces. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to lash out with this crazy move to go to to at least threaten sort of to go to f4. And what did I achieve with that move? Well, not very much, so I'll come back. But now, at least if he plays e4, e5, he's opening the long diagonal. That's what I keep telling myself. All right, so he starts thinking about this long diagonal, bishop b5. There is that. All right. All right, fine, I'll take it. I don't know. I'll just play some random generic maneuvers. I like moving that knight for some reason. Yeah, it's not that easy a position to play. King g2, general defensive light squares, which weren't really very much under attack, but okay. So I'm playing the role of the merchant with my trading, and I don't know. All right, let's play d5. Let's do something. Let's make something happen, whether it's good or bad. Just something, because getting bored here. Also gives white a choice, and whenever you give your opponent a choice, that's always an opportunity to make a mistake. E takes d5, I don't think is a mistake, but this it's harder to get an error from your opponent if you don't confront them in some way. All right, let's see where the queen goes. It went back. All right, I made luft there. I was actually kind of happy to get that move in. That or h6, but if I get g6 for free, a4. What does he want? Queen b5? Should I worry about that? I don't think queen b5 is really going to do much. I could play a6, but yeah, I think I'll bring it on if he wants to play queen b5. Now I can duck back to a8. And I'm looking at that diagonal. All right. Maybe c4. Is c4 in the air? I think I'll do that. Again, an aggressive move, not necessarily that good a move, but okay. Well, now I can't go queen a8. But what happens if I take things? Well, he takes things too. Well, all right. How does this shake out? I guess annoying tempo on my knight. That's true. And what do I do? Maybe run my king over to defend my knight. For the moment, his knights don't have squares to go to. Rook c7. Can't I take this? I thought I was expecting him to defend that, so I think I got a break there. Now back to the plan of the king. And once I defend that guy, oh. All right, let's push that then. I'm coming. Now I'm free. Free at last. All right. I wish I had defended that. All right. Check. Okay. I unchecked. All right, I think I'm in time here. Probably. Yeah, he could have done that last move, but then I guess I king d8. I just have to make sure I don't get forked. All right, let's kick that. Let's get that out of there. Not hang my rook. And continue to not hang. And okay, I don't care about that, I think. Let's go for a queen. away. Thank you, 11. Yeah, it was a hard-working game. Montes is back. He's back from the dead. But is he really? Is he really? Yeah, he moved something. Okay. Good for you, Montes. All right. Well, I know that bishop e2. Now I'm ready to take that pawn. Oh, another guy giving me his bishop. When will they learn? It's expedient, but that dark squared bishop, I think, is going to... He's going to miss it. What was h3? Does he want to play g4? I mean, there wasn't any piece. I didn't have a single piece that could go to g4, so I don't know what that was for. Okay. I think I'll put my rook on d8. And well, that accelerates the process. The knight going away from the center. I'll play c5 before my knight my bishop gets chased away. If he takes, I'll take with the knight. There is that. I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of like taking this knight. And some ideas of I don't know, just feel like I can play against that pawn on d5. All right, let's expand our horizons. See where that guy's going. I mean, I could have put the knight on e5 and taken the bishop, but maybe I will. Maybe I will put the knight on h5 now, on e5 now. Oh man, I keep having. I gotta have more room here for my my mouse. I got stuck there again. Gonna be able to defend that with g6, so it's not really a very outrageous move. But I wanted to jump in here. Yep, that's what I wanted. Now I can protect everything. I think he's just running around with the queen a little bit. What comes next? a5. Yeah, you know, I haven't really done anything with this position. Nothing at all, I have to say. Probably if he moved his queen, like queen g3, threatening f4, probably he was even better. But now, I don't know. Am I? Yeah, I meant to stop that move. All right, let's see what happens here. Controversial, giving him a d pawn. Maybe just bad even, but I did it. Yeah, probably not very good. Probably not very good at all. But so he just decided to sit there. That's interesting. Um, Surely I can do something about that. All right. I mean, B3. That's definitely not a good move because he's putting another pawn on a light square. But how do I take advantage of this? Maybe there isn't any way. All right, I'll play. No, do I want that? Let me just. No, that doesn't help. All right. Well, that might not be a useful move, but let's try it. Try to make something happen there. It's interesting that he just sat on that pawn. I thought he could have put the pawn on d7, the bishop on b5, but maybe I could surround the pawn. Now I'm hoping this will. Yeah, I think this is making something happen. But I think he might have disconnected again. He just stopped. These games are very frustrating when they're stop and go like that. Just at a very interesting moment. Okay, there he's ticking. I think h4 is actually a strong move. Or maybe not that strong. I can get his getting the d pawn is actually not necessarily the end of the world because he can make an h pawn. Okay. All right. Well, I think I better take this. He should have traded rooks because he could then follow up with bishop f7. So now I have the advantage for sure. Okay, check. Now the b3 move is really coming back to bite him because he could have put the pawn on c3 and now he's losing that pawn and he's going to lose the a pawn too. I'm just going to go and take that. Take that and then come back. Well, actually take that and then I threaten a4. So his goose is cooked here. Yeah, possibly that ending was dubious for me. I don't know. h5. Okay, sneaky move. All right, just make sure nothing queens over there. It's a girl. Okay, we finally managed to conclude that game against Montes. We added a few lives to that one. All right, okay, so Sandro informs me that that's going to be the last game of the day. So interesting batch of games today. I lost a couple of very odd ones, but that's all right. It's probably no fun if I win every game. So I hope that everybody had a fun time today, and that everybody got to play. I think some people even got to play a couple of times, which is I guess can be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's fun for me. It's good to do this. Once a month is probably good enough. So this is it for May, and I will be seeing everybody sometime in June. Figure out sometime I can get it in. I always manage it somehow. All right, so everyone, thanks for coming. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. This has been ICC Banter Blitz. See you next month.